Maria clutched the cardboard sign against her small chest, her fingers trembling as she stood outside the towering glass building. The words, "Please buy our puppy," were written in her careful 7-year-old handwriting, each letter painstakingly formed with a purple crayon. Her mother had told her they were going downtown to run errands, but Maria had tucked the sign into her backpack when her mother wasn't looking. She had a plan, though she didn't fully understand why it felt so important. Golden Retriever Puppy sat obediently beside her, his tail wagging despite the uncertainty that seemed to hang in the air. Charlie was only 4 months old, with fur the color of sunshine and eyes that sparkled with innocent joy. He had been Maria's birthday present just 2 months ago, back when her mother still came home from work with a smile on her face, back when there were groceries in the refrigerator and the electricity bill wasn't sitting unopened on the kitchen counter. Maria didn't understand all the grown-up words her mother used when she talked on the phone late at night, words like downsizing and budget cuts and severance package. But she understood the tears that followed those conversations, the way her mother's shoulders shook when she thought Maria was asleep. She understood that something had changed 3 weeks ago when her mother came home early from work, her face pale and her hands empty of the usual papers and folders she carried. The little girl had overheard fragments of conversations, pieces of a puzzle she couldn't quite put together. Her mother had worked for some big company in the tall building downtown, the one with all the windows that reflected the sky. She had been proud of her job, always talking about the important projects she was working on, the presentations she had to give. Then one day, it all stopped dead as Maria stood on the sidewalk, holding her sign and trying to look brave. She watched the stream of people in expensive suits walking in and out of the building. Maybe one of them would want Charlie. Maybe one of them would pay enough money so her mother wouldn't have to cry anymore. So they wouldn't have to move to her grandmother's tiny apartment across town, so she wouldn't have to change schools and leave her friends behind. Marcus Wellington III adjusted his Italian silk tie as he stepped out of his black sedan. At 38, he was the youngest CEO in his company's history, a fact that both impressed and isolated him. The quarterly board meeting had run longer than expected, and his assistant had already rescheduled his afternoon appointments twice. He was mentally reviewing the numbers from the latest round of layoffs when he noticed the small figure on the sidewalk. The sight was unusual enough to